Hey guys, I'm John Wood, the CEO and owner here at Oasis Recovery Center. Today I have the pleasure of sitting with John Benton. John has been a great friend of mine for a while. A colleague of 6 years. Just an impressive specimen that gives back to our community. But today, I hope to ask John some very vulnerable questions. He's got a story, just like I have a story. He's a human who's been through a lot, and we'll see how deep we can explore.
Yeah.
We'll try not to cry.
Listen, I don't mind crying.
Well, maybe we'll cry a little bit then.
I will say it's interesting because I've never ever listened to a podcast before.
Yeah.
So I don't really know
Like
much
even-
about this. So this
Even
is like
driving or anything, no podcast. Yeah, okay, cool.
so
Love
this
it.
it's
Same with our last guest. Never had done a podcast. Listen to one. Yeah.
yeah. So I just think I've never listened to one, and this is
Yeah.
so this is my first exposure to a podcast is just doing one.
I
So,
love it.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way.
we'll find out.
I mean, the whole point of this is just us getting time together, bro.
Yeah.
Like, when do we ever get time to sit? You've
More
been-
recently, which has been nice.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've been in the building, which is
Sure.
awesome. Like, getting back to basics is so cool. But that's, the idea of a podcast is like, you're busy.
Yeah.
I see you. I see your private practice. I see how hard you work and everything you do. You're busy. I'm busy. So it gives us an hour just to chop it up and learn more.
Yeah.
And today I hope to learn as much as I can about you. Where did it start? Talk to me. Like, if you don't mind me sharing, you are a man in recovery.
Yeah.
And in order to be a man in recovery, you got to go through some dark shit. Where did John Benton's story start? How was your childhood like?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, that's
And
what I thought.
how my childhood is. I mean, like that's something I'm like continuing to discover what that was even like. I mean, like when I initially
I get
go
that.
back to like look at my childhood, I have a lot of pictures that come to mind of feeling loved by my family and feeling a part of, and a lot of people seeing me, but I never really saw myself.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Fuck.
in that way, I grew up really like involved in sports and academia.
What specific sports?
I swam. I played football, soccer, basketball, hockey. I mean, I did it all.
And you had a loving home that supported that.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, I mean, just being active and, I never really saw myself as a kid. So a big way of like how I really understood myself was through how other people saw me.
How they
And
reacted to your presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so
get that so much.
And so basically with like everything I did from whether it was like school or sports, I wanted to be the best.
I
At
understand that too.
so very competitive.
Yeah.
And that was how
These are the reasons why I resonate so heavily with you. Because you're competitive in your fucking personal life today.
Yes.
And your professional life.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's an upside and a downside to that.
Of course,
So-
there's a lot of sacrifice, man.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I understand that as well. But anyways, I don't want to derail.
Yeah, no. So I mean, like that's, I lived in the same area for the first, 13, 14 years of my life, and
And that's Richmond, Virginia.
hmm
Yep.
Yeah, in South Side of
Shout
Richmond.
Shout out Richmond.
Yeah.
Shout out the governor up there.
Yeah.
Gosh, they're trying.
Mhm.
Virginia needs a lot of services right now,
Sure.
and they don't happen. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my mom remarried, and I grew up, with the same people that I knew pretty much since age 3 and 4, and moved to a completely different area, new people, and
So your folks got divorced.
yeah, my folks got divorced like when I was like really young.
Okay,
So like
okay.
my mom was a single mom for, many years,
Okay.
and then remarried when I was like 14, and I moved
That's
to
a lot at 14.
Yeah.
It's a lot different if she remarried when you were 4.
Sure.
14, I mean, you already got testosterone. You already got all your own ideas. You're trying to figure out who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And then there's another man coming in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I I grew up in this one area with all these people that I knew and was close to for a long time, and then I moved to a completely different area, and so
Still in Virginia?
Yeah. And that was a lot for me. I mean, it was rebuilding a whole new network of people. And
sophomore year in high school too.
Well, I moved to the west end of Richmond at 14. So I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And so like that was a huge transition.
Massive.
And then when I started, and to be honest, I don't think I really understood at that time what was happening, like how much that was affecting me. A lot of this stuff is hindsight and discovering how these big transitions, and
how could you?
Yeah, and from the outside in, it's like I think a lot of people were probably more worried about me than I was. Mm-hmm. Once again, I never really saw myself and never saw my suffering, like what was happening, and so I've
heard it fully described that way though, but it resonates with me so much. Sure. When I think back on my own story, but anyways, yeah, continue.
So I start high school at 15, and within the first probably 3 months of high school, like I had befriended like a group of like juniors and seniors. I went from like no drugs at all to I literally started doing every drug under the sun. So
really?
For me,
so you started quick. So right in their high school, you're 3 months in, and you're talking about heavy drugs.
Yeah, from probably within. Start the semester or the whatever in September, and by November, I was using every drug under the sun. And so like for me, it was like marijuana, opiates, cocaine, LSD, like everything. the whole
you got deep into the wrong crowd. Yeah
Well,
and it's you're searching for something. Yeah
So and for me, like that was kind of I found a drug for every way that I wanted to feel.
Of course.
And so for me, like that's my nature of like feeling like the only way that I can see myself is being the best. That translated into the substances to where it was like I want to have the most drugs, I want to have the best drugs. And so immediately like that whole
get that confidence,
that whole energy, that kind of I don't even know, misguided energy, I guess you could say, in that way.
Like wanting to cast the illusion of I don't know, like I remember when I was kind of in the realm of having a ton of stock of drugs and like wanting to be the guy, it's like casting that illusion for what I've realized now, people that just really don't give a fuck. But I was worried so much about what they thought, but I don't know if that's what you were going for or not, but
yeah.
So it's an interesting feeling. Yeah.
So I pumped all of my energy into getting high and figuring out all different ways to change the way that I felt, and still trying to like kind of keep up academia and appearances and all that stuff, and so pretty much my whole high school career, like basically, I started off somewhat strong. And then arrests started to happen, and
what kind of arrest, John? So
like possession.
Sure. So like still sophomore year, junior year.
Yeah, sophomore year.
Okay.
I think
was the first possession charge.
Yes. Yeah. So when I was 16 years old, what we liked to do at that time was something called garaging, and you would go to different neighborhoods and break into garages and, steal alcohol.
It starts with meth, for me. That's what we used to do. And then garaging is a lot more fun if you're tweaked. And I'm not happy to admit that. Yeah. And, man, there was even some homes I had to go back to and make amends with because I took too much.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah. But anyways...
And so once I
for alcohol and whatever you find, I guess.
Yeah, and once I got into like the whole system of, like the legal system, like I wasn't obviously ready to stop using drugs, so I started increasing drugs that like had a smaller window of being in your system to take a drug screen. So my cocaine use increased, benzodiazepines,
and this is because
alcohol.
you were on
Probation.
You were on probation.
Yeah.
Did you serve any jail time? No, okay.
No.
But they put you on probation.
Yeah. And so from age 16 to 18, it was pretty much just in and out of IOPs and
Really? Gosh.
yeah.
So you started young. Yeah.
Started young, and then when I was 18 years old, it got to the point, my addiction at that point got to the point where my parents were like, I turned 18 at the very beginning of senior year, and they were like, you can either get help with your addiction or you can get out of this house. And I was like, well, I'm leaving. So I wasn't ready to stop getting high. I mean, I was just warming up.
Yeah.
So,
I had a similar conversation with my mother to where it was like, get your shit together, then call me. And I said, okay. It's funny that she's calling me multiple times.
Is your mom calling right now?
Yeah, let's pick it up.
Yeah, you should.
Hey, Mom. You're on a podcast right now. It's funny, we're just referencing moms with John Benton, someone who you've met, therapist of ours who's been with us for 6 years. You have anything to say to the podcast, Mom?
Oh, hi, everybody.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Well, you're live. You're live. But I love you. I love you, Mom. And I'll give you a call back.
Okay, sounds good. Love you.
All right.
Have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye.
Love you, bye.
Wow.
So
there you go.
It went from
Universe.
that, though, to like my mom, saying, get your shit together and call me, to, me being able to help my mom.
And look at that. You got your shit together, and now she's calling you.
She does. And she calls me for advice. She calls me for support.
Yeah.
We sometimes get time just to theorize on life. And that's really rewarding. Family dynamics are tough, man. And especially when I was first starting to find myself, they were very tough. But yeah. Anyways, I didn't fully know that about you, John.
What?
Well, the drug use starting so quick.
Yeah.
And it's clear, like, you got into a new environment. You never had seen yourself, but through other people. And gosh, if the drugs don't make the illusion that you're seeing yourself more and more. How did you respond to IOP back then? Was it a joke?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like, trying to.
You're young.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. So it was interesting. It was almost just like I'm in this room, and there are families involved, and yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just don't.
Showing up.
Yeah, I mean, none of it was one of those things too, like.
And you were staying high, just figuring out.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends, I used with a lot of people, but a lot of people, the drugs weren't interacting in their spirit in the way that it was for me, and that was something that, like, in that way was kind of lonely. Now that I look back on it, it's like I wanted to
know more about that.
Well, I wanted to be able to use drugs and. Me not get to a place where I need to rob and steal and lie and not obsess constantly to change the way that I felt. And, I would use all kinds of drugs with people. And I noticed my reaction to it was a little different. And the lengths of which I'm going, the amount of obsession,
gosh,
all of it.
Yeah, the seeking, I guess, of the escape as a young man.
Sure.
So 18 comes, right? You've already been through multiple IOPs. Did you graduate high school?
No, I dropped out.
So
I dropped out, and my sister was living in Savannah, Georgia at the time.
Just want to let you guys know, this is like someone that I look up to on how he educates himself, how he studies, how hard he works on his master program. Anything that John does, he does not do half-ass. So, like, me getting this introduction to younger John is refreshing because, gosh, we could have been friends. Like, I had to ask my sister if I could stay in her guest room because my mom would not let me do house arrest at my mom's house, right? And the whole time I used to have to go to this place. I had an ankle monitor on, and we would do groups. So I guess it was IOP. But honestly, it was so foggy, and the therapy was so unclear. It was like, just show up, doodle, take the drug test, and go home. But anyways, you're 18. You're ready to move out somewhat because you're being pushed out. mainly because your way of life, or?
Well, I chose it. I mean,
Yeah.
there was still the offer of like, hey, you can complete high school, where you know you need help, and I
Mhm.
wasn't in a place to where I saw that for myself. I was like,
Right.
I'm still ready to party,
Yep, you're figuring
and
it
like
out.
this is
You're
all
gonna
the
find
school,
yourself.
all the school thing at that point. You know, there was, criminal activity going on with substances. So
course there
like
was.
that was taking precedent in my life and more importance than going to school. So like when I was going to school, I would go for an hour or two and leave, and you know,
To work.
to
Yeah.
work.
Mhm.
And so like that's just where I was at in
And
my
the
life.
sports went to the fucking wayside.
Yeah, no, that was
They're gone.
that was done for.
Yeah, so
It was done
high
for,
school
unfortunately.
sports were not a thing.
I did track in high school for a couple of years, but I mean,
Yeah.
I would be
The fucking
I would be across the street.
druggie on the track.
I
team.
know. I would
mean,
be across the
isn't
street,
it?
like smoking Newports and like, you
Bro.
know, ripping bowls and like drinking liquor, and then you know just run for hours. I don't know
I'll tell
how
you.
I was doing that,
I hope,
but that was what I.
man,
and that was like normal. Like I was
Yeah.
just wild.
Gosh, yeah. Giving a shout out to Coach Tabalea and some of my other coaches. Like, there was one game, man, I thought it was a good idea to have fried chicken and beers before the game, and smoke a little bit. I guess I was 16 on JV. But yeah, I just projectile vomited about fucking 4 minutes into the game. They called me out, went and threw up a little more in the bathroom, got back out, played great in the second half.
Nice.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, but no, I mean, we do have slightly different stories because the hard stuff for me didn't really hit until after. I tried stuff. Like when I broke my collarbone, I tried Oxycontin and different things, and I really liked it. I didn't know, though, that it's accessible. You know what I mean? It's such a small town.
Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't really in our ecosystem until we started hanging out with the older kids, and they had it more figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where did you go though at 18?
So I dropped out of high school, and my sister. This was probably like December of my senior year, so it was like winter break. And
So close.
Yeah, and my sister was living in Savannah, Georgia at the time. She went to Savannah College.
Georgia,
Yeah, she went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and
what a beautiful place, man.
yeah,
Tons
so
of history.
you know, I packed up my stuff, everything that I could fit in her Miata with her and a dog, and just I left.
How much older is your sister?
She's 18 months older than me.
Okay, you guys are very close.
Yeah,
Similar to my closest sister and I. She co-signed this.
sure. I mean,
How did your parents feel about it?
I don't think they were super excited about their son who was addicted to drugs moving, And it was a decision, and I appreciate them honoring that decision for me to go out there and get the experience that I needed to understand really what I was dealing with, and that's something that I'm so. And for any adult that's struggling with someone that they love, I mean. Suffering and healing are the two that are one. And for me, if I did not...
Say it a little bit slower for us.
Suffering and healing are the two that are one.
Yes.
They don't exist separately. And I would have never gotten to a place to where I made the decision to choose to stay clean without having suffering in my life. And one of the hardest things that my mom had to do was let her son go out there and about die over and over and over again. And I would not be here today without her doing that and allowing me to get that pain.
Yeah.
And so
we resonate on a lot of topics, and I guess we're giving mom shout outs, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the one time I was pronounced dead, it was after my grandmother passed away, and that's a story for a different day that I had a lot of shame around for a long time. But yeah, I was completely OD'd, foam out of my mouth. And for some reason, my mom was passing through Rockland and just had a feeling she'd stop by my grandmother's house. She had been passed for about 2 weeks now. And I snuck back in because that was kind of my safe place at my grandmother's spot. And yeah, immediately called 911, pronounced dead for a number of minutes, and remember it vividly. But if it wasn't for my mom showing up at these different obscure times in my life, there's about 2 real severe ones and then 2 others I could have died. I wouldn't be here. And I don't know how. How do the moms have the intuition to like, oh, I might need to go back over just checking a couple things. She didn't need to be there. Like, how did your mom have the intuition to know when to help and know when to pull back? Sounds like she did it right, like mine. I mean, mom set firm boundaries, you know.
Yeah. And I don't want to give some logical thing, but I think there's something about the more, I know for me, that I make myself available for someone to connect to, there's something spiritually that happens to where, not to get too woo-woo, but like there's just our consciousness are connected
Brother,
in that
I
way.
live in woo-woo. I only know
So I know for me, there's just, with my people that I'm really close to and that I've built those relationships with, I swear our consciousness are connected in that way. When I'm thinking about someone, I mean, fuck. Literally, we're talking about your mother, and she just called.
It's interesting. I know.
So it's like sometimes I wonder,
with
like,
yours
when
and it started with mine, and I wouldn't have picked it up if
Yeah.
she didn't call twice.
Yeah,
Mom doesn't normally call twice,
Yeah.
so that means she needed something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting, and I agree with that too. I've had the opportunity through meditation, through spirituality, through getting deep with others, like fully connecting with others' consciousness.
Sure.
And there's so much more there that I still want to explore because, like, what else is here? I get confused sometimes with, as humans, what is our role? And I do know our role is to always put a hand out to someone in need. And then find a way to have bigger groups of connectivity on a deep level, spiritual level. It seems like you've been so good at that. You have been so good at that here in this community. But you didn't go from 18 to where you're at now.
Sure. And also, I want
easily.
to say, know that you did that for me, offering me and allowing me to start my career here by doing that. You lent a hand and changed my life in a huge way, and I appreciate you for that. Seriously.
Yeah, no. The interesting thing is, John, like, so you had an advocate, right? And the advocate was gospel at the time. And goddamn, I mean, I don't even know if I want to say his name because the ego might flare, but you never know. My ego is fucked up too, right? But yeah, Jeremy Stalls came to me and he said, I've got a guy, and it doesn't matter where we put him, he's gonna crush it. And he never came to me before. So yeah, and then you did. I mean, the BHT work was lightweight. And I knew from the start, it's like, I wish we could have a John Benton as our weekend BHT to hold space for our clients. How incredible would that be? And we've had some very good BHTs, and we've got some good ones now. But how did you get from, like, when did you start to have cognitions in your drug use? Because you're lost at 18, living at your sister's house in Savannah, Georgia, which is a beautiful place, a lot of drugs. A lot of people exploring drugs. A lot of psychedelics and different things done. I mean, you find anything,
Yeah.
How long did it last? How bad did it get? Cliff notes. And then what sort of cognitions got you when it changed your life? But yeah, let's get back into this. So, gosh, and I appreciate you being so open, bro. We have a lot of people in here that are very reserved that come in to interview. And it's like, that's what I love about you, John. Like, you fucking tell it how it is. I've never...
This is something that, like, I believe true is, like, when you're sitting with people, like, especially as a clinician, you cannot take people to places that you haven't gone yourself. And so, like, that's just my belief. Some people may have a different belief, and so, like, that piece is the more.
That's why we're healers.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a big piece is like if it's all about how safe a person is. I mean, but a big piece too is, for you to really be able to connect with me, you got to see me.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's like for me at times that can be painful, but
yeah,
I want to connect.
Yeah, and really be seen.
Yeah,
it's fucking hard. Because we build walls up, protective walls, and we identify who's safe and who's not, subconsciously, I believe, and then slowly walls start to drip.
Well, if I walk into this room and I'm not, like, letting you see me, I mean, I say this a lot, but for me, like, that's why ghosts are scary, because if you believe in ghosts, you can't see them.
I think I
And
kinda
so
do.
with people, it's the same way. If I can't
Yeah.
see you, it's a
Hey, and just side note, go
No.
on the ghost tours in Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on the ghost tours in Charleston, and tell me there aren't some ghosts.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like, what happened? So I
So
want to
I-
know how many years of use and kind of what that looked like.
Sure.
Since you moved out, at 18. We're down in Savannah now.
So I lived there. I lived there for 2 years,
Wow.
and I was like a trainer at a Panera, and did work down
Good.
there, and
Mm-hmm.
partied full time, and just made it a point to literally just be in oblivion
Yep.
as much as possible. And
That's
so
so
that was
interesting.
I just dove into a very hedonistic lifestyle. I started traveling and seeing bands all over the place, and
Wow.
just in that whole lifestyle of going to shows
Oh
and
yeah, it's a whole.
getting all fucked up, and
Yeah.
and like that was like my identity was
Oh,
the
yeah.
what I had in my pocket and what I could get you, and
Yeah.
how many shows I've been to, all of that stuff
Adds
was
up.
just it was my identity. That was the only way that I could see myself, was through what I'd accomplished in that way. I mean, it was the same pattern in my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. You wanted to be the best.
Yeah, and it's
you
like
wanted
that
to-
energy traveled, and it's even traveled up to my life today. And
Oh,
luckily, there's been
yeah.
a way that I've been able to harness it, but it's also something that I'm working on.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a superpower though.
So.
If it can be used to be harnessed, but it's also probably why you went through so much hardship.
Sure.
I think that's interesting. So, gosh, yeah, getting almost notches on your personality belt of how you'll be perceived by others by accomplishing getting to these different concerts and being on the inside and having the right drugs. You know, that's so interesting because I resonate. Different, but I resonate. You know,
That's
like
it. Yeah.
if I had the proper Molly, I mean, my thing was raving. I really got
Mhm.
into that in the desert, and it became a huge part of my identity when I was
Mhm.
going through. Supposed to be college, but I was really not. You know, that became my identity for a good year and a half, 2 years. And yes, like, did you go to Wanderlust? Yes, I was VIP. Yeah. Did you do this? Yes, I was VIP. Did you do this? The winter raves out there were insane. But yeah, I remember the ego attached and the power attached it felt with having the right chemicals available for others as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so I do resonate with you. It's interesting how there are a lot of parts of our story that intermesh. We would have been friends
Yeah, I could see that.
because you've always had a good heart, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking misdirected. I've done some bad shit. I hope you have too. You know, I'm sure you have. But yeah, it's like the heart was always there.
Sure. So, I was there for a couple years, and so there, some things started to transpire with the work that I was doing.
Yeah.
And it got to a
You're
place.
training at Panera, right? Still.
Well, that was like that
you're
was
working.
Yeah, and
It's your
working.
cover job.
Yeah, and so
I understand the assignment.
and so the things started to get a little,
Hot.
hot,
Okay.
dangerous, and it got to a place to where my substance use and some of the things that were happening in the background, I needed to leave
Losing
Savannah,
track of
Georgia.
shit, yeah.
And so I moved. I remember calling my parents, and it's like, I'm ready to. I think I'm ready to follow, what I believe to be direction at that time. Like, I'm ready to, stop getting high. I'm ready to like really kind of put my energy back into academia, and like, I had always, I mean, really since early on, I've always wanted to do something that helped other people.
Same.
And so like therapy, counseling, all of that has been something like even since I was young was something that like I just felt like that was going to be. And so like when
That's crazy, man.
when I moved back home, it was like, okay, I want to
'Cause
start
your
going
mom
back to.
was a therapist.
Yeah,
You're surrounded.
Sure.
See, like, for me, I didn't really know it was a thing.
Yeah.
In my small town, yeah, there were therapists and stuff, but not awakened, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I had that idea of like, okay, I'm going to move back to Richmond, and I'm going to go back to school, and I'm
Go
gonna
to
get
the
my
university right there.
shit together.
Mhm.
And what happened was I moved back home, and the work increased, and
Oh, God.
and that's
The money
really
came
that's
in.
that's when the opioids and the heroin really started to increase, and that's actually when
Okay, so you
things
moved back. I got you at like 20, 21.
moved back at 20, and
Okay,
it's
so
just
this man can't even legally drink yet in the U.S., right?
yeah,
But the things he'd probably experienced at
Sure.
20.
sure. And
Okay, so we're back in Richmond. with
back
you.
in Richmond, and I am attempting to do the socialized thing. I am enrolled in community college, and I got a job, and I am doing all the
Got our
things that
shit together.
society has told me that I'm supposed to do at this age, and it was fucking empty because
So-
I was empty.
Checking your boxes, yeah.
I was checking my boxes. It was empty. It was not something that I was actually choosing. I was defaulting to.
Mm.
And my use increased, and I was good at keeping appearance on the outside, and to a degree.
For
And
how
then
long?
Probably like 4 more years of that.
I mean, you
and-
got your bachelor's, didn't you, during that time, or no?
Yeah, well, associates at that time.
Associates at the
Yeah.
time, but still,
Associates,
like,
and I had
what a
entered
fucking accomplishment
into-
when you're so
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't remember a single.
Buddy, I was blacked out. Like I did,
Mhm.
no chance.
So-
that's amazing.
So that came from that time, and yeah, I mean, I was a double agent, man. I was
Yeah.
trying to do the school thing, and then
Mm-hmm.
in the underbelly of the world,
Showing up in a much different way.
yeah, exactly. And it got to a point to where it was just leaking out of me in every direction. I mean, you could just look at me and see.
You're scared.
Yeah.
And crumbling. Yeah.
So, it got to a point to where, I think I had my first, and it was never something that I knew like pretty early on. I'm addicted to heroin. Like I have a drug problem, but I didn't understand what addiction was.
Isn't that fucked up at first? Yeah, do it for a period of time and try to stop doing it, and you realize what addiction is.
Mm-hmm.
I was so scared.
Sure.
I had no clue what happened when I stopped. When I started using OCs, and then like about a month, I stopped. I thought I had the cold.
Oh.
I was
Oof.
so fucking uneducated,
Mm.
right? And I didn't even know taking another line would help me. I was just selling it,
Sure.
And then I told one of the guys, I got a cold. He's like, well, haven't you been doing it? Yeah. He's like, try a little bit, might help. Try a little bit, felt better. And I was like,
It's like I'm in deep shit.
Yeah, at that
This
moment.
is not good.
It's crazy too, because at that moment I was like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So,
So, I had my first intervention with like family and friends, and it was something that
they set it up
they set
Yeah.
it up.
with an interventionist and everything.
No. I mean,
Okay.
like they all came together.
Yeah,
like,
the family did.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Amazing.
withering away, and it was
Yeah.
just basically all the friends and people that I loved came together with my family, and
Everyone that loved you.
mhm,
Yeah.
came in one day and was like, "We know,"
Mm-hmm.
and I just broke down, and
Can you still?
because of I can see how much they were suffering. That was something that landed at that time. Okay, like my use is affecting so many people around me. Like that was a tipping point for me
Yeah.
to go seek help. And at that time, it still wasn't about how it was hurting me. It was how it was affecting
hurting
other people.
others
Yeah, and like that's what it.
and how you're seen.
Yeah, and that was what I guess I needed at the time, and that was the first time I went to treatment. Was February of 2014.
That's a good memory.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to think if we're different timelines. First, because I only went to one actual treatment center, 6-month program, and gosh, 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. Yeah, but anyways, how was it?
Treatment?
Yeah, and
I mean, for me, that was
was
like
it structured like detox, res?
it was. Yeah, it was a residential program. So
Okay.
they had detox, and then, I was on the detox side for a while.
Pretty vicious detox. Was it a medical detox?
Yes.
So you had
Yeah,
medications?
and that was they didn't use like any sort of like medically assisted. Well,
Well,
and they didn't use any opiate-based medically assisted treatment to like help someone. So it was just phenobarbital, and
you're fucked.
It was painful. I didn't leave my room for like 4 or 5 days. I mean, I was so ill. I couldn't make it to a group.
Yeah, there's no way.
I didn't know what my head from my ass was at that time.
Yeah. The place my mom picked, I was very grateful for it. Wonderful place, 6-month program. In the Madonna, it's called Madonna Mountain in Santa Cruz. I won't say the actual name of the program. Beautiful spot in Santa Cruz. But they believe in a natural detox, no matter how fucked you were. So, buddy, I'm coming off of about 20 milligrams, 15 to 20 milligrams of Valium or Xanax a day. I built my tolerance up quite well, and about 10 Oxycontin 80s up my nose a day. I mean, it's too many, right? And some days would be 15. Molly, about a ball of cocaine every 2 days just to stay awake, and about 200, 300 milligrams of Adderall a day just to stay awake, because if not, you fall out. The natural detox from that, I got to, it was hard.
I guess you did about everything but die detoxing off all that.
Yeah.
That's wild. I will
say I was $135, and their program, they give you niacin in the morning. They cart you down, you sauna, you get on a bike, right? And for me, I mean, they just left me alone the first 3 or 4 days because my whole mouth swelled up like with pus bubbles. I couldn't eat anything. Gosh, so they'd be mixing me beverages and stuff like that. But it was, I got to both. Well, I've had 3 major detoxes in my life. That one was not as hard as the last one. That's saying something. I mean, the last one I had nobody, and I was coming off just as much, as not more. Yeah, it's crazy how out of control I get if I start.
Sure.
At least I finally know that about myself. Anyways, back to you. So you're on the detox ring for quite some time. How long were you in the program for?
That time I was I was in the program for 28 days, and that was like my first time ever being exposed to like treatment. Not only treatment, but like actually like recovery. Mostly like the people that like I ran with and that I was friends with. I didn't have anyone that I was connected with that they sought treatment. Yeah. And so it was like, it was very lonely, and I can still picture so clearly.
Isn't it though?
It was probably like day 5 or 6, and I can picture walking into the first Narcotics Anonymous meeting that I ever went to, and walking in the room and seeing the people in the room and the faces and how alive people were. Like I knew in that moment, I'm gonna be okay eventually. Wow. And that was like my first, like, we talk about in Narcotics Anonymous, and that's what I participate in for my recovery, and I wouldn't be here without it, and that's the heartbeat of my life as a man in recovery today. And
you knew from the moment you walked into your first meeting that was your home.
That was what we talk about, a second step experience. Like I came to believe at that time that this will help me in my life one day.
Yeah,
but the thing is, at that time though, I didn't, at that time I had so many reservations, and it was like I recognized that I was addicted to heroin, but I didn't actually understand what addiction was. It was like, okay, I have an addiction to a substance.
Addiction, sure.
So I had the two things separated. I knew I had an addiction to a substance, but I didn't recognize like the nature of like the disease of addiction. And so it took me coming in and out of treatment a few times to really have that true, not just logical understanding, but a lived understanding of like, this is no fucking joke.
Yeah. It's
like there is no, like when I put anything, when I put anything in my body that changes the way that I feel and increases dopamine in any capacity, I'm gonna have an overwhelming urge to use. I mean, and the thing is, I don't have, when that is introduced in my body, I'm powerless over how it's going to interact in me.
Man.
And so for me, like with recovery, it's abstinence based, and so Narcotics Anonymous is It's my home, and that's the foundation of everything that I have in my life today is as a result of that, and so that's home, and so I had that first experience in my first treatment, and I'm grateful for that because treatment is like what introduced me to
to Narcotics Anonymous.
So
the treatment center I went to was very isolating. You know, they had their own theories, and they thought there was a cure. A lot of the routines that we did in there, John, were profound. You know, stuff that you'd be very interested in. Like our training routine, for example, we'd sit, you know, chairs like this, flat-footed, and not quite touching knees, but, you know, a little bit of a gap. And we sit eye to eye, right? No hard swallows. Just looking into the other person's soul, just as a mirror. No movement, nothing. And the hard pass was 2.5 hours. And you had to go back to back. So 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours of gazing like that?
2.5 hours of meditation with another one.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was sound like I was doing one where I was trying to get my pass, right? With a female, and we maybe got about an hour in. And she just started crying, ran into the bathroom, had a full-blown experience. And I was so in, like, a different dimension because meditating on that level, like, after a while, especially when you're so vulnerable, like, you can start to feel and see the person so clearly.
I remember Kendra, who used to work with us. A shout out to Kendra. She was great.
Kendra, we miss you.
Yeah, Kendra.
Come on back.
And she facilitated a group for our supervision one time, and we sat across, and I sat across from Vern, and we both just looked at each other in the eyes, and she did this kind of guided visualization of like imagining the person from birth to all the way through their life, and like just guided the picture. And oh man, it was a beautiful, beautiful exercise. Like that, Vern and I, after that, was just,
the thing beautiful. Is, right, so they don't tell you, but in order to get through each phase, the first one's 10 minutes, right, when you first get there, you have to have the proper cognition that's within their literature. Very interesting place. But essentially, the first step of that was exactly that. That you're able to fully recognize another human and every scar they've been through and feel them with them and be there with them.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it's super powerful. So I'm blessed to have gone through that experience. It was so open-minded. I was high within 2 weeks. I started to work for them. It got very serious. I got let go abruptly because of a feminine. I had a relationship with a female when I was a client there, and part of her need to recover was to talk about that in a therapy session. And when I got moved to a different location to work, and they let me go. They gold rodded me from their community is what they called it. But within 2 weeks, I was back to 220 pounds. I had nothing to do but work out and work on spirituality. And within 2 weeks, I was high. Within 2 months, I was a shit show again. Because there was no after community.
Sure.
It was a cure.
Sure.
Man, if you find the cure, let me know. I've searched everywhere. It's not about that. The cure is connection in my mind. But wow, so you went through multiple treatment centers, and all up in the Virginia area, I'm assuming.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them were in Virginia.
What brought you to Asheville?
So after my second treatment, I was in the center, and I think it was like my second session with my counselor at the time, and she was like, it might not be a great idea for you to go back to Richmond after this, because the first time I went to treatment, I was like, okay. Literally that day leaving treatment, I remember I was like doing an exit thing with my counselor at the time. My parents were there, and in my mind, I'm like, I am literally never going to use heroin again.
Yep.
And within 6 hours of being home, Within 6 hours of being home.
Did you just find somewhere in your stuff?
Well, I was cleaning my car out, and there were like dope
Yep.
bags all over the
Yep.
place, and I took a taste, and within 3 hours,
Fuck.
without my permission, it's like my phone was in my hand, and I was dialing, and I was just watching myself, and within hours, the dope man had already come by, and that was when I was like, okay, like this is like serious.
Yeah.
Like, because literally a few hours ago, if you would have told me right now that you'd be getting high,
You'd have made
like
a
you
bet
are
against
out
it.
of your mind.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's something that, you know, state dependent learning is something I talk about a lot with the people that I sit with, in the sense of like, you know, a lot of learning is state dependent, meaning like the things that contribute to your state of mind are what help you be able to access your learning. So it's like when I was in treatment, I was around people, we were having all these conversations
Correct.
about being in recovery, blah, blah, blah. And the minute that I unplugged from that, and I'm in the driveway of my parents' house, and I'm seeing all of these things that have contributed to a different state of mind at one point in my life.
Yeah.
All of the learning that I had from treatment,
Gone.
fucking gone. And I mean,
And I
just
tried.
gone. And it was startling. It was startling.
You know what's so crazy is it's just not unique.
Yeah, I know.
And I try to tell our clients, you know, our statistics are so much better if you just stick with as long as it takes, however that looks for you. You know, I mean, treatment was designed by the military to be 38 days.
Yeah.
For status. That's all it was, for military status.
And it's really hard to account for something that you can't see. And someone could have told me all that stuff, and they did tell me all that stuff in treatment. And I was like,
Of course
I'm different. I'm good. I got this. And I've learned in that moment to really begin to account for things when it comes to staying clean that I cannot see at the time. And so naturally, when you're in a setting like this, it's like, oh, I haven't had a craving. Like, I'm good. I can go back home. And I mean, but the reporting is accurate. They're reporting. People are reporting from what they're experiencing right now, and it's the truth. But a big thing is accounting for what you can't see. And
Correct.
I did not account for pulling out of the treatment center, the drive home,
And the
being
thing is, like,
at
I know
home,
this stuff,
like,
but I need to make a note. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Continue.
So like that stuff, I mean, as painful as it was, I learned a lot of important lessons for me to really understand the nature of addiction through my relapses. And it's not necessarily, of course, something I would encourage for other people. And once again, suffering and healing, two that are one. There was no healing, and simply for me, the definition of healing is to be able to see something. And I was not able to see it without having some pain first.
Yeah.
And so
You need quite a bit.
I needed a lot. And so back to the second time I was in treatment, you know, my counselor was like, you probably should maybe consider
Something a little.
Yeah. And so
extended.
it was between Wilmington and Asheville. And at the time,
God, I'm glad you picked that.
well, I initially chose Wilmington. I was like, I'm going to live at the
Wilmington
beach.
Treatment Center.
Well, just to go to Wilmington to
Sober living.
live.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I was
yes.
gonna
Be part of the
go
recovery
to
community.
Yeah, I was gonna
NA
do
meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do all that, and then a week later, I sat in with my counselor, and we were like, because I don't have any transportation at the time, and I was looking at the public transit system there, and it
Wow.
was way like it was not
bad.
going to be doable.
No, it's very
And
bad.
so
there,
actually, I had a roommate.
yeah. It was public transportation that got you to Asheville instead of Wilmington.
Well, I had a roommate in Savannah, Georgia, that was from Asheville, so I
Okay.
used to hear about Asheville all the time, and the music scene and all the stuff here, and I was like, so it was between Wilmington
The
and Asheville.
Orange Peel, all the other
Yeah.
cool places we have now that have come up. Yeah.
Mhm. And I was like, oh, let's go to the mountains. And so I went the second time I was in treatment. I got transported from treatment. I went door to door
to
to sober living here.
Wow.
So,
I mean, that's incredible. How long were you in sober living here?
well, it's been multiple times.
Well, yeah.
But the first time, and this was my last
Circa
one.
what year? Yeah, let's talk about your last time.
This was. I moved here October of 2014, and I was in a sober living, and I stayed clean for just under 90 days and relapsed, and I had a horrible run
spell here.
Yeah, I had a relapse for like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
Charges, homelessness.
Really? Yeah. So similar in this town.
In this town.
And I moved 14 years ago here. And in between 28 and 30, I mean, not only had I built something so special before that, built our family home, everything was perfect, had a great business. I lost everything quicker. Yeah. I experienced homelessness in this town. Experienced reaching out to every treatment center in town to ask if they had a scholarship. You know, and then I remember going to ADACT, which a lot of local people will know, and getting through the doors. I parked in staff parking. I was in DTs. I was having seizures occasionally, and that was the worst, bro. But I was able to find a place to detox by myself in an Airbnb for 60 days. If it wasn't for one person at an AA meeting to see me, there wouldn't have been a point, because my dealer was online and he noticed I wasn't buying, right? So the previous house I was staying, he already sent me a re-up. I didn't know that till I had been detoxing for 2 weeks. I went up and checked the mail. But thankfully, I already made one connection, right? And through that connection, I made another one. And that's the gentleman I called and flushed 60 Roxy 30s, you know. And the video, I'm moaning in the video. You know,
I bet.
It's crazy. I mean, so we both kind of tore it up in this town. It's beautiful to be on the other side of it in this town.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Beautiful. So yeah, tons of experience. You had your stint here in Asheville of relapse, what that was like. Was the community any different to you after you came back into it after relapse here?
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean community?
The NA community, the overall community, were you received any differently? No. Handheld, even love.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was that relapse, I still had people that picked up the phone, loved on me, still showed up for me. I mean, yeah, that unconditional.
Do you wonder why though? I mean, you have such a good heart, bro. People want to be around you. People do see you. You know. I'm curious, getting back to being seen. Like, at what point of this journey did you start to see you? Because you had to.
I mean, that's still an ongoing thing.
I know. Well, I think that's a lifelong journey, John.
Sure.
And I go back and forth in different times where I think I really see myself, and other times where I'm like, just, you know, trying to check the boxes.
Yeah, I mean, to give you a definite moment, I mean, there's been a lot of different moments.
Sure.
But there was probably this is like a really defining moment. This is probably 2020. It might have been around COVID, and I can remember I was driving here to work, and I was on 240.
To Oasis.
Yeah. And there was just this moment when I was on 240 where it was just like the camera lens, like my observing self. I don't want to get too theoretical, but it was like the camera lens turned, and I just actually saw myself as a human being that suffers and matters just as much as anyone else on this earth. And when I say I unzipped, it was so powerful, I about had to pull the car over. I just started sobbing, and I just actually saw a person, like an actual person that deserves to be loved and cared about just as much as anyone else. Yeah, you know, and that moment is, I mean, that's like a defining one. Like, there's like so many different moments along the way, but that one in particular, I mean, it was just, I mean, I truly immersed in myself. Yeah, and that was only like 5 years ago.
And that's incredible,
like,
right?
That piece, really, yeah.
I tear up a little bit about that right now, just because, you know, with some life dynamics, and professional dynamics, 23 was a tough year for me. Stress and home dynamics, by all means, can have just about an effect on you as heroin. Sure. I had to see myself again. man, I had an experience recently, John, like 4 months ago. Couldn't sleep the night before Saturday, first Saturday without the kids. Wake up early, take a shower, and just staring at myself in the mirror, and thinking about my life, and for once giving myself a little bit of grace, just to be seen as a human. And okay, so that's why when you were sharing that with me, I teared up a little bit, because it's just like I've had to do it time and time again, but it's like before doing so, how do you appreciate much of anything? Like, we are our own entities, and we're interconnected with everyone around us and everything living at the same time. But yeah, that's incredible, man. Were you doing BHT work for us at the time?
No.
You were already in the clinical realm, and that makes more sense. Yeah. I think I remember that because I believe you shared it. And oddly enough, I might have been up there for a supervision that was shared in. I could be wrong, but so fast forward to now, right? So you were already on the clinical team. We're talking circa 2020. This is a man who's been extremely loyal to the cause here, and the mission. I think the mission is just starting again. I can feel the energy, the inspiration. The right people are here that are still supposed to be here. And the fact that you never had to explore other things to want to be here is something I'm so grateful for. I don't know if we would be here if you didn't stay strong, if Vern didn't stay strong. And that's unique for a clinical team that has completely shifted. It's probably the best team that we've had, but it's a new team. Gosh, and one thing I said I wouldn't do is talk about your favorite treatment modalities and what you like to do with clients. That'd be a mystery. If y'all want to work with him, you get a hold of us. He's got a private practice as well, so it doesn't need to be just about treatment. John does a lot of stuff for the community. But tell me about your personal life today, bro. Where do you get your satisfaction from? I'm not talking about happiness. It's too volatile. But what gives John satisfaction today?
Oh, dude. I mean, that hands down my relationships. I mean, everywhere I go, like this is a relationship right now. Like us being able to talk like this. This is giving me, satisfaction. All my relationships with the men and women that are in recovery that are in my life today. So that I like traveling when I can. Jeremy and I are going to go to Nepal together.
Do not bleep this or edit this out. Yeah. Fuck you guys. And I want to fucking go. Jesus. I guess
the end of the last week of February into the first week of March.
Of next year.
Yep. And then.
You know what? If there's room, I'm coming. Jeremy invited me on this last one. I said no. If it's a strict group, I don't need to attend. But yeah, I think I need something like that. Anyways, I'm not trying to put you on spot on a podcast.
But relationships. And connecting with other people that is how I have the meaning of anything in my life is based off of my relationships. Yeah. So relationship with God, the universe, whatever you want to call that. My relationships with the people that I work with. My friendships, my family today. So that is everything. I love music. I still love going to concerts. That's music is a huge special interest of mine. I don't follow bands as much, but I like to go to all different types of concerts. So I usually, got a few on the roster that, every month that I'm going to. So that brings me so much joy. And really what I do for work. Everyone that knows me and is close to me understands that this is like a huge special interest of mine. Personality, trauma, addiction, like all of this stuff, counseling. I mean, therapy, counseling, all of that is like it's outside of recovery that is something that is just so meaningful to me, and it's such an honor to be able to sit across from people and be able to really see people, and other people really let you into their life in that way, and to be able to change the life of another person. Like how much that means to me is, so I mean, that's everything. I want to be able to leave a mark on this world, leave a mark on this community, and have a good life. I want to have a good life. I don't want to forget about me. That's the thing. And sometimes I get so the balance. I get so tipped into helping other people. It's like, oh yeah, John.
Well, it's
John,
that
John.
ism of being the greatest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't stop.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, yes, you're absolutely right. Everyone that knows John Benton knows that he's very dedicated to his craft. It's been interesting being back in as operations director over here and doing direct client care and communicating with these clients. I've heard the most fun things said about you, about therapy. They're just so intense, but somehow in a light way in some cases, in other ways in a very deep way where it requires so much more processing, but you're going places with people that normally they wouldn't go with other therapists. And I don't know how you're achieving the level of comfort that your caseload, the clients that get to be with you, are experiencing to be able to go there. That's something I'd like to bottle up and teach every therapist. But no, you're quite amazing. It's like when we get very challenging cases, it's like, where do we go to? John Benton's their primary therapist every time. I mean, and that's because you're so well studied and you just keep on working on your craft. But I mean, I'm grateful to be your friend. I'm grateful to be back in this building. I don't know if you noticed, but I get excited when I just see you walk past and like shoot me.
Yeah, we get the side. Let's do one right here. There you go. The side
like
down.
Right
there you
there.
go. That's
you know what I mean? But being back in this building, being accepted, it feels like back in the building has been an honor for sure. Yeah.
You made this.
I know. It's crazy.
You fucking made this.
Yeah, I did. And the interesting thing is, I can't. There's no credit given in my head, really. I was quite hardened in 2023, but then coming back to direct client care, I've been so reinvigorated. Like. With just a passion to continue to develop better levels of programming.
There's thousands of people that are alive today because of you.
Yeah.
There are thousands of families that didn't have to lose a child or lose a partner or lose anyone because of what you created.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's you. That's you, John.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. The crazy thing is, it's like, when starting, my heart was so pure that the universe opened to such incredible people coming in. It wouldn't be possible without John Benton's. It wouldn't be possible without Vernon Leaser's. What we built together is an ecosystem of safety. And when you were talking about like being stable and like your relationships today with your family, my relationships today with my mother and my other siblings, and when I go and I show up in other communities for other things, I